Hey everybody, this is a job that is one of those last minute jobs, as things like this often are. And I was asked if I could knock the background out. And typically this is a fairly easy task. And I've already done the job, but I'm going to start over from scratch because of what I had to do to make this file really look good with DTF. Now, let's take a quick look in here. You see we have a lot of artifacts in this JPEG, and this is not one that can easily just be a magic wand and then boom, it's good to go. So as we look around on this file, there are things that need to be addressed here. But first and foremost, let's go down to the image size, and you can see it's of a good size. However, it's sitting here at 111 on the resolution. Now I could scale it up right here, but that's not the best way to do it in Photoshop 2025. So what I'm going to do is first go to the neural filters, and I'm going to click on Super Zoom. And I'm going to click on this magnifying the plus one up to 3 times. And you see that my output here is a new document, and it's working on scaling this up. Now, the other thing is clicking the Remove JPEG Artifacts. I'm not going to do any sharpening or noise reduction, but I do want to remove those artifacts. Okay, so here is the new file scaled up. Here's the old one. Let's get in here and see exactly what the difference is. So you see this 111, and now there we go. A lot better. Now I know it looks blurry. This will be a DTF. It is a little bit forgiving, but the hard part is going to be getting these edges really clean when you knock this out. I'm just going to go ahead and close this original image file because I don't need it. And trust me, I used all the tricks in the book after 30 years just to go in here and easily do this, and it was not going to happen. So what do we do when it's like that? I'm going to show you exactly what I did to make this a perfect print in the end. First off, we're going to go back to image size. And you see how it's 300? Well, I need to knock this down for this job to about 9.7. but keep it at the 300. Now I'm going to go to my object selection tool, and I'm going to click on the dancer here. Now it's always good to go ahead and make an extra copy, and you'll see me do that a lot just in case I need it. But with this dancer here, I'm going to go ahead and click Layer Mask, and I'm going to hide this bottom one. This is going to allow me to go around the perimeter of the dancer and look how clean it actually is, and do a little cleanup right now because I know there's going to be some trouble spots here. In fact, if you option click, you can see that this semi-transparency going on here. Probably want to get rid of all of that. So one way to do that first is to make sure you're clicked on the mask itself. And we're just going to go under adjustments and do a threshold. Now what that threshold's going to do is you can pull this in and out here. This is going to let you adjust those semi-transparent pixels and make them 100%. So I'm just going to look around at the rest of the perimeter and really kind of get an assessment for what I need to clean up here. You see right here, this is where that aqua kind of goes in here. I'll probably take care of that a little later, but I really want to chase out all the semi-transparent pixels first. Now that I've done that, if we option click, you can see we're just working with black and white. And that's perfect for DTF because semi-transparent pixels cause printing issues. Now at this point, I really want to work with just the mask itself and not do any destruction to the image. That's why I'm selected on the mask. And we can start using some of the tools here. Now the pencil tool in particular doesn't leave any semi-transparent pixels. So if I want to get rid of something, I can simply paint on the mask and clean the edges up. If I want to take a little of this off here, you can see I can just go around and trim that out right here. Now I'm using a mouse to brush along here. However, if you had a tablet and pen, this is probably going to be a little bit easier. And anytime I want to look, I'll just go to that copy and see what I've got going on here. Now, if you go too far like this, it's really no problem because I'm using the pencil tool and I'm just painting on the mask. I can always hit X, switch back to white, and I can paint back in. So in this endeavor, we're either going to hit X and paint away, or hit X, get white in the foreground color, and we're going to add back in. So you see this foot here that looks a little indifferent here, the way that comes down. Almost looks like there's a reflection going on here. So I may take a little bit of artistic license here. Just sort of smooth that out there. You can go as far as you want on an image like this. A lot of this I'm just going to leave alone. That all did a pretty good job. Take a few pixels out here. Once again, I'm going to look at what's underneath, knowing that eventually the white is going to be gone. So this in here really looks unnatural. So I really want to kind of figure out how can I make this look decent. And that may be switching to white and adding some of this back in here. Just on that neckline, I know some of this could just be gone. So we'll switch back to black, make the brush smaller with the bracket keys. And eventually white will show through right here. Okay, now that I have that, I'm going to go ahead and commit to this image here. I'm just going to right click and apply layer mask. No longer have the mask. And now I'm going to command click to select here. And I'm just going to go ahead and hide her for now and bring this up here. Once again, I'm going to make an extra copy just to have it around, and I'm going to hide that. And now I'm going to delete. Now we just have this to contend with. Okay, now I'm going to go to this layer here and do a select all. and copy. Now flip over to the internet, vectorizer.ai. I'm going to paste that in. I'm going to click OK and let it do its thing. Now there's black, aqua, gray, and this white. So if possible, I would really like to get this down to just 4 colors. We'll see what it thinks it has. Okay, it's got it as 5, so I'm going to click this. And I'm going to see what 4 colors looks like. Okay, it's getting rid of the gray, so I'll go ahead and take it as the 5 colors. And I'm just going to download. Now I will drag this directly into Illustrator. Now what's important here is we go back and you want to remember your image size. See that 9.7? Go back over here and we're going to select this. It's going to be a lot bigger. This is where I've selected this whole image trace, and I'm going to put that same 9.7 back in here and scale this thing down. And while this is selected, I'll double click on the artboard options, come down here and fit to selected art, hit OK. Now I want to get rid of this white here. So I'm just going to select it with the direct selection tool and then go select same fill color and hit delete. I'm going to select all and group. Because the canvas is white, I want to see what else is hanging out right there. You see that? We want to get rid of that. But the rest, nice clean vector for the moment. But the white background is gone, so I just selected that, delete, delete. And now export, export as. I'm going to select PNG, use artboards, and put it in this dance temp folder. And I'm just going to give it a little name here. And when you hit export, make sure these are your settings: 300 ppi, anti-aliasing, none. We don't want semi-transparent pixels. Transparent background, hit OK. Now we're going to open this up in Photoshop. And because this was vector, it's super clean and beautiful. So I can see this a little better. I'm just going to go under Window, Arrange, and do a 2-up tile. I'm selected on here, so now here's the file I was working with here. I'm going to hide everything, come back over here, and I'm going to shift and drag and drop that PNG file right into this file. So now just looking at my main image here, I can see that it's a little bit offset here. That'll be no problem. I'm just going to make sure I'm on this new layer that I brought in here. And I'll just get on the move tool. And let's get in really close. And we'll just move this around. That looks like a perfect fit right there. Now, something else that I like doing, you see we're going to have some of this stuff going on here. We'll be able to easily fix that. But one of the tools I use for this is just adding another layer, dragging it to the bottom, and then I'm going to hit Shift Delete, and then make sure I pick a color like this green that contrasts everything. And then I'll hit OK. Just make sure you're not on this. Now I'll come back up to this layer here. And when I get in close, you can see where the green's peeking through there. I don't really want to mess with the dancer sitting on top at this point. So I'm just going to grab the pencil tool and make sure by holding the Option key that I eyedrop this color here. Make sure you're on this layer, not the dancer layer. But I can just paint up underneath there. You can do it quite loosely. See that? And anywhere you feel like it's going to show through, you can paint some pixels there. Like, see that by your thumb? Right here. And we can do the same for this gray as well. Like if this gray doesn't match up right here, we'll just do the same thing. Usually those pixels are going to be sticking out, but see that? We'll start here. Pencil tool, make sure you're on the correct layer. I'm going to hold the Option key, eyedrop that color, and I'll just paint up underneath. That green just gives this nice contrast. Now you see that little bump right there? That's probably, yeah, on the dancer. So grab the eraser tool, make sure you're there. I'll just take those pixels out. The rest of this is looking pretty good. Remember, when we're in that close, when you get back out to the distance that you're going to print at, this will look really good. In fact, when I got this done, I actually printed it on the GTF printer just to do a test print, because I understand the importance of something like this. This obviously is a very sensitive issue, and they're trying to support her fight. And that's why I put the extra time into something like this, is because it not only challenges my skills, but it also is just the right thing to do in a case like this. So at this point, I would save this as a Photoshop file, so I still have all this stuff going on. And then I'm going to hide the green, and then simply export, quick export as PNG. And that is the file that you see printed right here.